My mother-in-law insulted me and refuses to apologize. I don't want her at the wedding.
You don't want the insulting woman who won't apologize at your wedding?
Background. I, 21 female, was recently on vacation with my fiance, 23 male, and his family. He has a daughter, 3 female from a previous relationship. So everyone aside from the daughter is an adult. We were all in one vacation house, including my daughter, and there were 10 people there. By the way, this comes from Icy Gummy Bear. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime subreddit. So the daughter absolutely adores her grandmother, my future mother-in-law, and grandfather, my future father-in-law. As much as I would love to be his daughter's mother, it's been made pretty clear to me by his family that I will never be seen as her mother in their eyes. Despite how much I try, I don't think you can try. The actual mother is very touch and go and doesn't see her daughter much, despite the custody agreement, and constantly cancels. There's a chance that because of a genetic condition I am likely to have, that I may not be able to have children. This is something I have talked freely about for a few months now, and his family is aware. Now on to what happened. It was late evening on the final full day of vacation. We were all supposed to leave late morning / early afternoon the following day. My future mother-in-law went to her room to get ready for bed and start packing. My fiance's daughter ran after her and then decided to go into the room my fiance's brothers and one of their girlfriends share. She opened the door and ran in. I followed her because she wasn't supposed to go in there, as his family made clear. I tried to coax her out, but she wanted to be with my fiance's brother's girlfriend. She, however, was getting ready for some pictures, and to avoid his family fussing at her or me for letting her stay, I picked her up. She immediately screamed and threw herself back, trying to get out of my arms. I did everything I could to try and keep her from hitting anything as she did, but she headbutted the wall. Oof. I immediately put my hand where she just got hurt and started comforting her as I carried her out of the room. My fiance's brother's girlfriend saw all of this happening, and she insisted that I did nothing wrong. As I left the room, my future mother-in-law stormed out of hers and looked very angry. I told her that the little girl got upset when I picked her up and she hit her head while trying to get down. She snatched the little girl out of my arms and said, "Just don't have kids. Just don't." Then she went back into her room with the little girl and slammed the door. Felt like the old 1-2 to the guts. I stood there in shock for a second until I felt the tears welling up in my eyes. I ran to the room that my fiance and I shared and locked the door. I needed to be alone. I was sobbing and just throwing my stuff in bags. I had texted my mom to let her know what happened. I thought they were going to have to pick me up since there's no way I could drive 4 hours like this. My fiance stood on the other side of the door, begging me to let him in. After a few minutes, when I could finally catch my breath, I let him in and locked the door behind him. I told him what happened while still crying. He sighed and went to go talk to his mom. He told her that what she said was extremely inappropriate. She agreed that it was inappropriate, however, stood by what she said and started listing why I didn't need to have kids.
Bro, what?
She's
What
like, "Yeah,
are
I
you
was
doing?"
wrong, but let me do it some more."
You're like, "Yeah, I was wrong. Let me double down. Let me double down, though, because I wasn't wrong the right way."
I felt so empty. I continued packing everything I had brought for myself. I moved all of the toddler's things together into a more accessible place for his family since I planned on leaving alone. She never apologized. She stood her ground. He tried to talk to her. I could hear it between my crying. I did my best to ignore it, but she was yelling. She talked about how I wasn't involved enough with the toddler. I tried to be as involved as possible, but I could not make any decisions for her or take her myself anywhere. I wish I could, I really do, but no one else aside from my fiance would be comfortable with it. They aren't even comfortable with me being involved in any conversations regarding her future or her mother. Eventually, he was back at the door, asking me to let him inside. I did. I told him that I appreciated what he said and it was okay if he wanted to stay here, but I was going home. He tried to talk me out of it, but then said that he was coming too. I told him that I no longer wanted his mother to be in my life. Whoa.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that person in my life either. I'm not going to lie.
I told him that I wasn't going to prevent him or his daughter from seeing her, but that I wasn't going to. I understood how important she was to him and his daughter, but I couldn't do anything around her anymore. I told him that I was done making excuses for her and apologizing to her when I got upset at something she said. She has never once apologized for anything she has said to me or about me, and I've always had to apologize to her despite having never said anything back or argued. I've always just taken it, no matter what she said or yelled at me. I remained quiet and would leave to cry alone. I was always being told by various people anytime this happened that it was just how she is and to not take it to heart. He sighed, but agreed. He said he wouldn't make me be around her. I asked him a few more times if he was sure that he wanted to leave with me. I told him that my parents could come down and one of them could bring my car back while I rode with the other. That he didn't have to leave, and neither did his daughter. They could stay and enjoy the rest of the day and the following day, and it wouldn't upset me. He insisted on coming with me, but wanted his daughter to stay with his family so that they could have the full vacation. His brother and his brother's girlfriend knocked, asking if they could come in. They told me I did nothing wrong, that it was just how she was and did not take it to heart. They said that I was strong for being able to take what she said and what she has said in the past and still be with my fiance. They showed me a crab they had caught to cheer me up.
Cool. Hey.
It worked a little.
It's like, hey, I caught this crustacean. I was hoping it might make you feel better.
I was still crying, but I smiled at their kindness.
It worked.
Yeah. Sometimes if someone's in a crabby mood,
it does make
they need just that little crab.
Look at
the girlfriend said that if it was her, she would have left a long time ago because of it. I admitted that in the past I almost did. They talked to me a few more minutes. I thanked them, gave the girlfriend a hug, and they left. We finished packing and we left around 10 p.m. We went into the gas station to fill up, use the restrooms, and get some snacks for the road. I don't think I stopped crying. I cried for so long that my eyes swelled shut and I fell asleep. I woke up an hour or so later, about halfway through the car ride, and just silently cried. My fiance kept trying to cheer me up and talk to me. I would talk to him, but the tears won't stop no matter how badly I wanted them to. I felt so hurt and empty. What hurt worse was when he said that she made valid points about why we shouldn't have any kids right now. I told him that I didn't think I was cut out to have kids and that I made a terrible mother. Oh, he was hurt that I had said that and tried to get me to calm down. He kept talking about how much I did for his daughter and how great I was with her, but all I could hear was him saying that she made valid points and their arguments from earlier. I'm still pretty hurt by it all, and it has been 5 days now. I know better than to think she will ever apologize. I never want to have to be around her again. I don't want to enter her apartment when we have to drop/pick off his daughter. I don't want her at our wedding or in our possible future kids' lives, if we even have kids. He still wants her to be at the wedding and in our hypothetical kids' lives. The most I have agreed to is to wait in the car when we go to pick up/drop off his daughter. I will not go in her apartment. He agreed to do that, but is disappointed.
How is he disappointed in you and not his mom?
I have tried for nearly 2 years to build a relationship with his mother, and I feel like every time it starts to build, stuff like this happens. I know she means a lot to him, and that is why I have tried so hard. She was even one of the first outside family people to know about me not being able to have children. So, am I overreacting? Should I apologize to her and his family for overreacting and bringing drama in their vacation? Should I stand my ground politely? Edit, change spacing so it isn't a wall of text. And there is an update. It's been a little over a week since I made my original post. I spoke with my fiance about this and how I feel about it. He spoke with his mother about it, and she said that the closest I will get to an apology is her admitting that she was wrong to say it, which she has done to him. She has not spoken to me at all or even tried to message me. I do not have her blocked anywhere. She and his family have said that she would have said that to anyone in that situation, and it wasn't just me. So she's just a piece of work just in general. And I think that's worse, to be honest. I am conflicted on whether or not I should consider an apology. On one hand, she has admitted that she was wrong. On the other hand, I wasn't the one she said that to, and she has said that that is the closest I will ever get to an apology. My fiance has said that if I still do not want her in the wedding, that's okay. He said that to keep the peace with his family, he would just not invite anyone on his side, which I do not think he would do or should do. He should be able to invite other people in his family without it being an issue, but he insists.
Yeah, that's just, you're making it worse. You're just making it worse now.
I feel really awful about it, and that's the main reason I've been conflicted on whether or not I should consider her admitting she was wrong to him as an apology. I do think that I will continue to keep any contact with her at a minimal amount. Aside from that, I'm just not sure. Nothing feels like the right move. Accepting her telling him she was wrong to say that to me as an apology makes me feel like it's really not an apology, which it's not, and would happen again. But not accepting it makes me feel like I've gone too far. Allowing her in the wedding without a proper apology makes me feel like a doormat. But not allowing her makes me feel awful. I'm just really unsure about it all, to be completely honest. No matter what I feel, it just feels like a bad decision. The only thing I'm sure about is keeping her at a distance so it will not have a chance to happen again. By the way, what should always happen again is you listening to our podcast, OK Storytime, wherever you get your podcast. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There's a relevant update, which I'm just going to get straight into. For some context about the wedding, it is planned to be very small. We want to do it in a court, and we are still okay with his family, mother-in-law included, to be at the party afterwards. The discussion was purely about the actual wedding. Likely, it would just have been our respective parents. However, he wanted to not have either of his parents because it would cause a bunch of drama if he only invited his dad, or his dad would have brought her instead. It's not like he was uninviting his entire family. I probably should have clarified that in the original post.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's where that ends.